Alright, all you insomniatic TV channel surfers out there tonight, welcome back to the Tuesday Night Special. And oh, we almost forgot to mention during Monday Night Raw while AJ Styles was lounging back in a chair and watching The Undertaker's documentary, he may have realized that this may be the last time he had a chance to fight against the dead man. And he was ticked off. And not to mention wearing purple gear like The Undertaker now. So is he now the phenomenal phenom? Before we try to figure that out, folks, and speaking of dead people coming back to life, I think it's time for us to go into another spooky edition of the As Seen on TV. And originally we were going to save this for Halloween, but we completely forgot that we're on the rabbit hole trail down the What a Cartoon series, and this was one we managed to dig up, and it was none other than the show known as Courage the Cowardly Dog. And this show, the meat and potatoes, is Courage, a dog who was abandoned as a pup, would get adopted by Eustace and Muriel, mostly Muriel because Eustace hates that dog, who would realize that strange things are happening in nowhere, only for Courage to try to defend his home at all costs despite being a craving yellow dog of a cowardly cat like the cool Porky Pig. Because that's what he used to say about Sylvester whenever he got scared when they went to those hotel trips. Which, in Sylvester's defense, with half the things that was going on, he had a right to be afraid. And this show, man oh man, what did I love about it? Well, besides the fact that at every waking moment, Courage would be scared out of his mind, and every single time he would get scared, he would have a newer and newer reaction to it by not only screaming like a horse, his teeth bulging out of his mouth, and even one occasion, and probably one of my favorite episodes of Courage the Cowardly Dog, has to be the episode of the attack of the weremole, where Muriel got turned into a weremole and Courage had a heart attack. He screamed so bad he went ooh and fell to the ground and woke up in the ambulance, and the doctor who gave him the advice to just keep soaking it because Muriel had her hands swell up the size of a catcher's mitt after getting bit by that weremole, only for the doctor in the back of the ambulance to say, "You almost bothered, boy. What is up with that?" And then for Courage to run out of the ambulance chasing down the weremole for Eustace to try to hit it with a mallet. Oh man, that show was a classic. But besides that one episode, folks, another one of my favorite ones from Courage the Cowardly Dog has to be the one that did debut the day they were featured on What a Cartoon, and that was the attack of the chicken from outer space, which for some strange reason reminded me of Mars Attacks with a hint of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs if the food happened to turn you into some form of possessed chicken monster. And according to the maestro, the name of the episode was The Chicken from Outer Space. But yeah, this would be a recurring episode throughout the entire series of Courage the Cowardly Dog in separate moments in each season that they've had. Yeah, as a matter of fact, through all, 4 seasons of this show? Or just about 5 seasons of this show? Technically, yeah, it would feature the chicken from outer space on each one of those seasons. And this show would debut on the day of November 12th of 1999 and would last all the way until November 22nd of 2002. And for some strange reason, it felt like it lasted longer than that, and it's probably because of the reason that after this show went off the air and went on to Boomerang format and was even syndicated, also nominated for an Annie Award and won a Golden Reel Award besides winning an Annie Award, would then come back for a miniature special on October 31st of 2014 with the cartoon known as The Fog of Courage, which was a CGI episode which a lot of people believe was supposed to be the return of the said classic show, but unfortunately, the show would go dark ever since. We would not see an episode, not even a single one to this very day. And the saddest part about all that is, folks, is the fact that one of the major accolades this show got is the fact that it's probably one of the most popular shows released out of the What a Cartoon series of that year of its time, which I would really love to see a return for this said show in the near future. And one other interesting thing that we found out about this show, folks, is that the original Eustace Bagg, unfortunately who died, who was Lionel Wilson, who originally did some stage acting and author of children's books, would then go on to be replaced by Arthur Anderson, who was the one of the original Lucky mascots for the Lucky Charms cereal for well over 29 years. And as a matter of fact, while he was doing this said show, he was still the mascot for Lucky Charms, despite not being Irish, as he would say in an interview back in 2005, which I do believe was 3 years after he retired from being the Lucky Charms mascot. And despite all of that, folks, with this show being off the air for well over, 20 years almost? It's still a classic in the heart of many of people, including me. And Maestro asked me who was my favorite character of that said show. To this day, still would have to be Courage. Despite him being a star-craving coward, still one of my favorite characters. And seeing the fact that we don't know how to review these TV shows along the lines of TV Guide or any of those other famous TV show reviewers you know of out there, we say this. If you want to go ahead and watch a show that involves a family who lives out in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, to run into 1,000 ghouls, ghosts, goblins, spiders, and any other creature that will give Courage heart attack rate to go up 3-fold, all while Eustace tries to make a profit off of it, and Muriel tries to save the day along with Courage along the way, then I recommend you go out there, pick up your TV channel remotes, and watch that show. And with that said, folks, we might as well head back into the music, and when we return, we'll be back with more of the Tuesday Night Special right after this. So don't go watching those infomercials just yet, folks, and stay tuned.